How are we going, everyone? Just standing in the little hothouse, a makeshift light hothouse, as you know, and I'm just having a look at my little malaccas, my big malaccas, my Italian malaccas as well, and then scratching my head and trying to work out where I'm going to bloody plant them all, eh? I'm just going to populate my seed bank. That's all I'm doing here now. The reality is here that we did lose the seed, or we lost the seed to the little malaccas, and I've got two here that I've got to try and bring on, and they're coming along well. Look how nice and clean they are. Nice clean foliage on them, and they get plenty of sunlight and airflow as they need to. But what we need to be doing with plants like this is liquid feeding them on a regular basis. But before we do that, let's just pick out one of these ones. I think about 2 weeks they've been in there. These ones about a week or so longer. And let's have a look and see how the roots are developing on this one. It's suckered onto the walls, so you squeeze the... There we are. Delicious. Isn't that great? Nice and healthy. Now that's what's happening. Ideally you want nice deep pots, because what's happening, the roots grow down, they hit the bottom, they come back up again. But that's ready for a liquid feed now. A little bit yellow on the bottom, 2 leaves there, but that's because it needs a feed and a water. So what I use is Liquid Gold and Eco Butch. And what I do is I use a drink bottle, and you've probably seen me do this a million times, but it's always good to repeat because these are important little bits of information. Old drink bottle, it's been seen better days. You can see how many times I've squeezed it. And on the topic of how long can you keep a liquid fertilizer, well, in our case, because I know our product, Eco Butch was once known as Eco Boost, because my mother couldn't pronounce it. She made me change the name. So that's going back then. I'm not changing any more names. So this has been on the shelf for at least 2 or 3 years, folks. I kept all the leftovers that we didn't sell, and I'm using them through the garden over time. And now, about 5 mil, that's by eye. That's about all you need in a litre of water. You can go a little bit more if you like, but I just like to keep it like that, a little bit less. And the same with the Liquid Gold. Now, liquid feeding for me should be done on a regular basis. And I want you to think about the growers when they grow plants. They grow them so they can sell them, right? They don't grow them just for pastime. A lot of them are collectors. Yes, they do grow plants just for fun. But when they grow them to sell, they want to be able to have them in the best pristine state, you know, with all the flowers on them, as small as possible, healthy as possible. And among other things that they add into their watering regime, which goes from what I've seen many a times, are large water tanks, they add their liquid fertilizer at the same time. So when they get a water, they get a liquid feed at the same time. So that's why when you go to your garden centres, they look super, super healthy. And sometimes you take them home and they start to go backwards a little bit. That's because they've come out of an environment where it's controlled. Now, this is controlled, but not extreme control, meaning that when it's a nice day, even if it's a little bit breezy, the door's always open, and sometimes I take them out on the ground to harden off. That's important to do as well. So when it comes to liquid feeding, go lighter on the strength and go and apply more often, like a weekly basis if you can. And how long can you keep it on a shelf? Well, I've kept this for 3-4 years, I think, maybe more. No, 4 years. That's how long I've had this, and it's still good as the day it was manufactured, folks. So if it wasn't good, all these plants would be dead by now. And in a little drink bottle with the bottle top sprinkler, like that, just to dribble around each one. A little bit on the foliage is good for it too, because it absorbs all those minerals that are coming through the liquid feed. So that's the Eco Butch and Liquid Gold. Liquid feeding on a weekly basis is what I recommend. You can read on our packets and other brands as well. They'll say fortnightly, monthly, and so on. You can get away with it. It's not a sales pitch for me to sell more product, folks. Absolutely not. Although that'd be great. But at the end of the day, the reality is, you go less of a concentration and on a more regular basis, you're stimulating the life within the soil that it's growing in. It's not just for pots, for the ground as well. So just going over the top of the plants, even just on the foliage in the garden bed, like if I've got it, or you've got a large garden bed like I have, you're possibly not going to sit there and make, I don't know, 50 watering cans worth. I go for about 15 watering cans through this garden bed, and it's a light top dressing, it's not a drench. And if your garden bed is a bit dry, which I find it a little bit difficult to believe, unless you live in Bacchus Marsh, because apparently it hasn't rained there. Today we got bombarded by rain. So if your garden bed is a little bit dry, make sure you hydrate it first before you apply the liquid feed, so that way it's not absorbed by just the foliage, the mulch on the surface. You want it to soak through a little bit, so make sure the grounds are well hydrated, as is the mulch, and then go around and apply it. You can get this stuff on our website, folks, vasilisgarden.com. Liquid feeding, my little malaccas, my big malaccas, and some Italian malaccas. They're in here somewhere, and soon to go in the ground. So these products are available on our website, folks, with a Black Friday sale on at the moment. You'll get an extra 15% off their sale price, along with every other product we have on our website as well. Click and collect, and shipping is available. From me, Vasili, Maresi.